During the pandemic, I thought I would try my hand at songwriting. So I wrote a song about tortillas. Actually, it's more of a rap.
Welcome to Across the Table, the podcast of Hannibal the Magician.
Rebuilding and everything that was old is new again. Well, welcome back. 440 some odd days in lockdown, and the light at the end of the tunnel is drawing near. I have gotten both vaccinations and waited the appropriate amount of time afterward, and I am, according to the latest rules of the CDC, free and clear to go anywhere that I wish to go, masked or unmasked. For my own part, I intend to keep wearing a mask out of the deference for other people for numerous reasons, and I'll examine those as I live my life and go forward. But it is my own preference of, never really caught a cold this year. Of course, I was mostly isolated, but still, even in the times that I did go out and all the things that I've learned, that's what I'll probably be doing. Not what I came to talk about. A lot of stuff I want to get off my chest, a lot of things I want to put into your ear. And it kind of, the purpose of everything kind of starts with Jackson Browne. I like the music of Jackson Browne. I always have since I was a kid. Really liked his point of view, really liked his way of saying things. One of my favorite songs of all time is called Rebel Jesus. And if you if you're not familiar with that particular tune, I would recommend you go to your favorite musical outlet and take a listen. Then take a listen again, because it's got some pretty deep stuff going on there. Rebel Jesus by Jackson Browne. I want to learn to play that song. Did I tell you I'm teaching myself the mountain dulcimer and a 2-string bass? I had those instruments. A friend of mine made those for me, and I spent a very little bit of time, to be really honest with you, during isolation, learning the basics of learning how to play those, and I'm actually starting to hear music in there among the notes. But while I love Jackson Browne, and while I really admire his dedication and his artistry and the things that he did, the worst concert I ever went to was a Jackson Browne concert. My former wife, Dawn, really, really liked his music, and I think it was for some occasion, or maybe no occasion, I bought us tickets to go and see him. He came to Charlotte and was going to give an evening of music, so I bought us tickets to go and see him, and it was kind of awful. There were dozens of guitars all over the stage. He kind of wandered back and forth, kind of chatting with the audience about his history, but not in any terribly coherent way. And then he would spot a guitar and go, "Oh yeah, I wrote a song on this one, and it goes like this." And he would play. Generally, he'd play all of the song, and that was nice. But it didn't come across with any kind of energy, or it seemed any interest on his part while he was on stage. And for a while, I thought, well, maybe it's just me. Maybe he's just not playing the particular songs I came to hear, and so maybe I'm just not interested. And my mind started to wander, as it does. But then during the intermission, a great number of people left and didn't come back. So the second part of the show kind of opened up to, I'm going to conservatively say, about half of the number of people that he started out with. So it wasn't perhaps just me. Now, of course, we stayed. Dawn didn't seem to be having much of a good time, but that apparently wasn't because of the music, which I found out later. But he had some guests come out and play a little bit with him, and did one or two that I thought that I knew and that I liked, but very little energy, and like I said, very little interest. It was almost like, well, I'm contractually obligated to be here and fill up this much time, and I'm gonna, I'll play the things that I like to play, but I'm certainly not playing for the audience. I guess what I'm trying to say is while he certainly was dedicated to his music and he certainly did play well, he didn't, in my opinion, he did not put on a good show. Anyway, as we were leaving the venue, Dawn was kind of steaming, was kind of upset, and so it was always really easy to know when she wasn't happy with something. So I asked, I'm like, what's upsetting you? Was it, I didn't think the concert was great either. And, kind of bummed that I felt like we wasted our time a little bit. But then, but she turned on me and was like, you were spending the entire concert, eyeing this other woman, just oogling this other woman who was sitting kind of in front of us. And I was completely taken aback, completely flabbergasted, because I had no idea of who she was talking about, let alone what. And I'm like, no, I was just bored and kind of spacing out for a little bit. I wasn't really staring at anyone, and she was adamant that I had spent the entire night just staring at this other woman and completely embarrassing her. And sadly, I can't prove where my mind was, but that wasn't it. And very unfortunately, that's the take I have on an evening with Jackson Browne. This was really kind of towards the end, where I was under suspicion for a lot of things. But in that particular case, I was innocent on that one. Anyway, the other night, I was sitting here in my little space and kind of following different wormholes around the YouTube universe. And one video led into another, and then it led into Jackson Browne performing The Pretender acoustically on just a piano. And Jackson was old. I mean, the last time I saw him couldn't have been more than, maybe 6 years ago, I guess, was when that concert happened. But I was immediately struck with just how very aged he looked. The last time I saw him, he didn't look that way at all. He looked like a slightly more mature version of himself from the 70s, was what my take on it was. But short hair and gray and lots of weathered lines on his face. Not decrepit old. He's certainly still a very striking, handsome figure. But it was just galvanizing for a moment how aged he appears to be. Great strong voice, great talent in his hands still, did a great version of the song, which, the Pretender has a lot of meaning for me in particular, because that's how I feel I live my artistic life as well, as a pretender. I'm faking it. I'm a fraud. I do card tricks for a living, and somehow I'm getting away with it for now. But it just took me for a moment, and I watched him perform, and I watched him sing, and I had the same kind of feeling when I first saw how old Johnny Cash had gotten right before we lost him. Because he always seemed to me to be a big, powerful, young, ebon-haired warrior, and then he was old and not quite beaten, but certainly a few swings had been taken at him, and that's how I saw Jackson Browne. And I turned off the television when it was over and just sat there a little while in the kind of semi-dark and thought about that, and thought about Rebel Jesus and Somebody's Baby and Lawyers in Love and so on, and a Peaceful, Easy Feeling and all the things, all the music from my youth, and the immortality that I had back then. And that feeling of the music is the life and the blood that I'm coursing through, and art is there to be made, and I've got a whole big future ahead of me. And that all came back into the fact that this week May of 2021, I became a grandfather. I'm 55 years old. My youngest daughter delivered a 9-pound, 15-ounce, 21-inch baby boy, big fella, big beautiful fella from the pictures that I've seen. I mean, just an amazing little big human being, and I'm very proud of that. At 55, and then she and her husband are overjoyed, and mama and baby are both really healthy, and everything is good, and life finds the beauty in it, and it moves on, and it goes forward. And his name is Walter Thomas, after his grandfathers, and they're going to call him Wally, which I think is adorable and amazing, and reminds me of Vacation in Wally World, but that's neither here nor there. My baby has a baby. And she didn't, I knew she was expecting. She sent me a card around Christmas time. There was a birth announcement that you send out to everybody, friends and family and everything. And she sent me one without signing it or writing anything on it. But she let me know, and that's awesome. But she didn't tell me when he was born, and he was born last Saturday, and I found out about it later. And then not at all even yet from her. She hasn't gotten in touch to let me know. And of course, I'm well aware that's not her duty to say anything or to make me aware or to contact me. It really isn't. It's not her responsibility to let me know. And this event is not in any way about me and my hurt feelings or my feelings of loss or isolation. It has zero to do with that. This is a wonderful, happy, joyous event where this young man has been born into this world to great parents, to a wonderful future, lots of potential and all kinds of great magic happening in his life. But sitting here right now, and given all the events of the week that have happened, I wonder whether or not I'm going to get to be a part of it. She's still very angry with me about the circumstances that happened that caused the split of the family, the way she puts it. I'm in my own slight defense, I will say that all of the children were grown when Dawn and I split up, and the trouble that happened between us was simply between us. It had nothing to do with the children, and I love them all as dearly or more so than I ever have. But some of them have decided that I'm the bad guy, and that has led to this kind of situation where she doesn't feel the need or the desire or any kind of responsibility to let me know about the joyous things that happen in her life. And I guess for right now, I'm going to have to live with that. It's her choice. It's her life. It's her family. And I guess perhaps she feels that I don't belong in any of those categories right now. I'm not here for a pity party. I'm here to let my feelings be known, and you can take them or leave them or judge me for them in any way you see fit. But I have a grandson that I may not ever get to meet, and in a very deep spiritual core way, it hurts like nothing else. And that is mine to deal with. I was presented with choices we're all presented with choices every single day, and I when I made my choice, I made the best that I thought I could, and I regret that my choice has hurt people outside of, it was between me and her, it was between me and my wife, and we were both getting hurt in different ways, and the fact that it spread out from there is the thing I regret. I made the choice that I made, and it was the right choice for me to make. And I told myself at the time, I will face the consequences of this, and I do. But some of the consequences are much more harsh than others, and there you have it. There it is. So, a very welcome to this world to Walter Thomas, and should the occasion ever arise that you have need or you need me, I'll be around. I will I'll read you stories and tell you stories and give you my perspective on things and teach you the things that I know if I'm given the opportunity. I'll even play you Jackson Browne music, because he writes some damn fine music. Talk soon. I hope there's love where you are.
I may not know exactly where this road is taking me, but I know that I'm exactly right where I'm supposed to be. The journey is long, full of joy and pain, but as long as you're smiling, I'll stand in the rain. I've got nothing left to give other than love. But the funny thing about that is, love is everything. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I may be a liar full of tricks, but if you'd open up your eyes, you would see nothing but the truth behind all of my lies. I broke every rule, and I bore every boulder, and I carried the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I've got nothing left to give other than love. But the funny thing about that is, love is everything. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope got nothing but illusion. Anyone can wave a wand and make all their heartache disappear and call it art. But without heart, you've got nothing but illusion. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are. I hope there is love where you are, my friend.
I do wish we could chat longer, but I'm having an old friend for dinner.